get this screen straight. Peace and blessings to the family. She, love, and light. It's your brother. You know what I'm saying? You already know it's Black Power. Salute to everybody that's in the building. She to the family. I just wanted to do a quick little bill tonight about good old time religion, family. Subject matter that never tends to get old, no matter how many generations. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I was on the way to work and I caught a lift. You feel me? But in the past couple of days, when I caught the ride, I had like 2 or 3 individuals that try to pray with me. And they asked me that I want prayer, but I told them that I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I don't subscribe to Christian religion or ideology specifically. And so I went on to tell the last person that asked me that. I told them, you know what I'm saying, like my mother and my father were both into the religious, world or whatnot, Christianity, preaching and whatnot, that community. And I seen them do it. I seen them, do sermons and put their notes together and counsel people and community outreach. I seen them do all that. And so it was some good in it, but it was some bad in it as well. Everything most definitely won't 100% peaches and cream now. But yeah, I try not to be no type of way with people that don't think exactly the same as me. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair to do that. Like, we're not the only ones in the universe. It is a universal, coexistence, and we all exist, together. And so I feel like when people try to put their religion off on you, that ain't right, family. That's a sign of like intrusion. You know what I'm saying? The intrusion is when somebody force themselves upon you. Like, they don't wait for you to agree. They don't wait for you to accept it. They just imposing their will upon you. And so you got to watch for that in different religions. Like I said, with me, family, like I consider myself to be a teacher. And so I'm teaching and I'm outreaching to people. And I'm trying to give people the option to choose. The more you know, the better of a option or a selection, the better of a choice you can make. That's my point. And so when you're more aware, you can make better choices. All right. And so that's what we're doing, family. I'm not trying to force what I believe on you, and hopefully you're not trying to force what you believe on me. You feel me? I know people got stuff going on. Somebody just tried to hit me too. But yeah, it's all good. Everything nice. Hopefully y'all enjoying your evening. It's a beautiful day. Like I said, love and light, salute, Black Power. We in the house. It's your brother. It's the Black News 720, man. The Omnivision EDU. And just wanted to talk about the good old time religion. We've been doing it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? We was doing it during slavery. The brother asked me a question. I wanted to answer the brother, but he ain't hit me back yet. We exchanged information. It was another person that wanted to pray for me. The second time was a brother. First time was a white lady. You know what I'm saying? Then some Jehovah's Witness came and knocked on my door not too long ago. But they want to talk with you as long as they can indoctrinate you. If you have anything to say that's against what they're teaching or what they're talking about, family, they're not going to invest too much time into you because they have an agenda. It's an agenda. And with me, my agenda is just to make you think. That's it. The more curious, the more you think, the more questions you ask, and the more aware you become. That's my thing. You already know about, religion comes from the Latin religare or religio, which means to bind. So I know a lot of Hebrews, I've heard them say that Egypt is the house of bondage. But when you look up the etymology of the word religion, because you're reading a biblical text that refers to a specific group, all right, or religion. And that word means bondage, okay? And we know anything with in it, it's not original. It's something that's redone. You did it over again. It's not the first time that you did it. So, renew, renown, you know what I'm saying? It's a redo. It's not original. So, religion is something that people use to strive, I guess, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? You want to do better. You want to be more in tune. You want to communicate and be close to the Most High, to the spiritual realm, and be advanced in your spirituality. So I get it, and people done been through a lot, and so the spirituality does help when you do the things that cater to your soul, that make you feel good on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all about the material possessions per se all the time. You feel me? It matter, but can you sleep at night? Some people can't even sleep at night, family. And so whatever religion that you subscribe to, it may bring some type of discipline to your life. Because I've seen that with religion too. But ultimately, I feel like it's a campaign to get people to disassociate themselves with science, because religion is about belief. And when it comes to Christianity, that's what they tell you. They say, hey, you need to believe. You feel me? You believe, you can be saved. You feel me? But you can believe anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can believe that you can just try to hop in an 18-wheeler truck and drive it, but you ain't never drove it. You ain't never said it. You hop in that truck and just think you're going to just drive it. That ain't going to happen, family. You need knowledge. You need skills. You need to be knowing what you're doing. And so there's two systems. There's a system of belief, which is religion, because we're talking about religion tonight. And then there's science. Now, the builders of the pyramids, like the pyramids of Giza, you feel me? Of course, you got Mayan pyramids. You got pyramids in Peru and different places around the world, South America, Central America, you feel me? But these people were very advanced architects. And that architecture was on another level. They have structures that's lasting for 1,000 years, 1,500 years, 2,000 years, 4,000 years, longer than that. And they're using geometrical patterns and shapes. So they're using science, they're calculating, and it's organized and it's dope. You know what I'm saying? So just know that the people of the past may have not been as primitive as Western academia would like to believe they were. To believe that we were saved by the Europeans, that there was no civilization of Africans before Europeans, which is completely bogus. That's not true at all. People of African descent have been around longer than anybody, family. We had our own religions, our own spiritual systems, and the whole nine. So we already know. I just wanted to talk about that. I thought it was weird that you try to deal with somebody about spirituality and you find out that you got a different understanding or a different preference, and you don't even try to come to an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like a abusive relationship. It's all about the one individual and the results that they're trying to get. They don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? So they're not trying to see how you coming. They're not trying to understand it, none of that. And so it's like I said, you got to look for certain characteristics. But that's not what you want right there. Any type of force or intrusion is not empathy. That's not coming from an empathic soul. That's coming from a more narcissistic type of individual. They want things to be their way or no way. Or it's over for you. The highway, you got to get up out of here. Some people like that. I've seen it coming up too with different relationships. Where it's this one person that's everything is going their way. That's what it's based on. And maybe, you know, that's what was more, you know, the most comfortable for that individual in that situation based on how they is. But I'm just telling you, when it comes to religion, that's what we see going on. Now, hold on one sec. I'm going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. I know it's the weekend and people got stuff going on, but the Omnivision EDU must go on. All right. 1 second. All right. Share my screen right quick. Now I could have got graphic with it, but I ain't gonna do too much. Cause YouTube sometimes they be on some funny business type of stuff, man. It's a lot of sensory and politics and stuff going on. You really don't get to exercise the full freedom of speech. But let me go ahead and share my screen, present, bam, screen share. All right. So I can show y'all right quick. Now, I mentioned it before in another bill. Mentioned it before in another bill. So y'all can see right quick. All right. So we mentioned the Negro Bible. So the Negro Bible, or the Slave Bible, my bad, the Slave Bible, which is for Negroes. So you niggas didn't even know that existed. Hold on right quick. All right. So the so-called Slave Bible, this is from the history.com, told of Joseph's enslavement, but left out the parts where Moses led the Israelites to freedom. When slavery was legal, its proponents often justified it with the Bible, specifically a verse that tells servants to obey their masters. And you see that in the movie Birth of a Nation, the Birth of a Nation movie about Nat Turner and the slave rebellion that happened during his time. He was one of the only Negroes that knew how to read. And, you know, like we had the anti-literacy laws in the 1800s, 1700s, where it was illegal for blacks and people of African descent to read. If you was a Negro, if you was caught reading, then there'll be negative consequences. So there was no encouragement, you know, of education for blacks. So that's just one fact that the church need to acknowledge. We need to have more pastors talking about these things. Because then, you know, just because you get a few donations and, you know, you got people going, you got a whole circus act going, you're hooping, you're hollering, you're jumping around, you know what I'm saying? But ain't nothing coming out, man. Ain't nothing, you're not teaching nothing. You preaching. And so that's why I like to get into teaching. But and so let me see, it says, where did the Negro Bible come from? Background, it was produced in England in the early 19th century for use in the Britain West Indies. It had all references to freedom and escape from slavery excised, while passages encourage obedience and submission were emphasized. And so it's an altered version of the Bible. Like I said, the Bible has been translated over 1,200 times, 1,100 times, something like that. But it's been translated so many times and so many different versions of it. How can people say this is the word of God? Like 100% absolute, this is the word of God. I don't think so, family. I don't know. I don't know. You're going to have to show me. Y'all going to have to come on here and show me, why I should believe this. People want me to try to be open to their doctrine and their belief. You got to show me, why should I even consider that? You feel me? Word. Yeah, I know it's late, you know what I'm saying? People enjoying themselves, but this is the time that I'm off. So I've been working all week, family. I've been busy. I normally try to get with y'all on Sunday and on Wednesday, but yeah, they've been having me. I've been on the move lately, family. But we won't get to the bill. Peace, love, and light to everybody in the building. Ashe, it's your brother. We're just doing a little bit about religion. Okay, is it good? Is it bad? So many different religions around the world, so many different people, so many different cultures, so many different languages, so many translations, different translations of the Bible. So y'all got to tell me something, man. I'm trying to understand. Is this the words of God? Is it the words of God? How do we know? How do we know that for sure? Now, I know that, like I said, in the slavery times, it was illegal for blacks to be educated or to read. But like I said, in that time, he was one of the only slaves that knew how to read. You feel me? And so that gave him an advantage, but he knew how to read so he could become a pastor, which he was, a preacher, so he could preach and teach submission and subservient behavior to the slaves. So just like in the real world, you know what I'm saying? They might give you the little, they might give you the green light for access and, or whatnot, but they're giving you the green light so you can serve them. And so he knew how to read so he could be a pastor. Like we got all these black pastors in the community. Cloud, they helping, Cloud, they doing something, but we're not getting into no type of understanding about religion and its inception and racism. Now, I understand that religion is directly correlated to the idea of racism. All right? But we'll get into that, family. It's anti-African. Right? But we know that the story happened in Israel, and Israel is one of Africa's 54 countries. Like I said, we live in the United States, or I do. I don't know what I'm saying. Some people live different places, but it's 52 states over here. But they got 54 countries over there, so it's a very large land. It's huge, it's bigger than any other land. And we see that the Bible takes place in a certain geographic location. Like I said, the mountain of Sinai is where Moses went to pray. You feel me? The burning bush scenery. And where Jesus was baptized in the river of Jordan, right, by John the Baptist, right? That's right there by the Red Sea. Okay? And so these are all geographical locations that are in Africa. And so when you think about the names like Peter, John, Jacob, none of those names are African. And my thing for the Hebrew Israelites is, I'm trying to understand, like, they need to understand that there has been an ongoing rivalry and war between cultures over time, right? And peace and blessings. Ashe, Mother Goddess, I see you in the building. Love and light. I know it's getting kind of late, but I promise I'll do this bill. So we here just talking about religion and its inception and racism. Now, you know how they talk about the Middle East, and the Middle East is like Arabia, Iraq, you know what I'm saying, up in there. Those are just countries, two of Africa's 54 countries. So Africa has many countries, very massive land. But anyway, there's always war going on in Africa because it's one of the leading, I guess, exporters all right, in the world of goods, all right, like even with the cocoa bean, like Ghana is one of the largest exporters of cocoa bean for chocolate. So I was watching the documentary one day and I had seen that. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know they had chocolate over there. But yes, you know, the motherland is the origins, family. And so that's just one of the things for the Hebrew Israelites, that the story takes place in Africa. And I understand that the Torah is supposed to be of Hebrew origin, right? And then you have the, what is it? The Tanakh is supposed to be uh, associated with the Jews, or Judaism. If I'm correct, family. But I know one of them is Arabic and the other one is Hebrew. And so when we're looking at these understandings, you know what I'm saying, it's a language, it's a culture, and we try to make sure that the language and the culture is matching, the stories in the Bible, family. And so, like I said, the geographical locations is in the motherland. And so the characters should be African, right? The language should be African because that's where it's happening at. And so, like I said, historically, there's been a lot of invasions from the Greeks and the Ptolemies coming into Africa, stealing, trying to take their resources. You feel me? Stealing our knowledge. Like I said, we know Hippocrates, he studied in Africa before he established his legacy as a father of medicine, as a great practitioner of medicine. He studied under what's my man, Imhotep. And so there's African knowledge and wisdom before Greeks ever established anything. So let's not try to play those type of games. But the anti-African rhetoric, we got to stop that, family. Like I said, religion is associated with race. There's a chosen people according to the Hebrews, right? According to the Jews, there's a chosen people. And God tell people to go over here and take the land, go over here and do these things. You feel me? And according to the biblical text, right? And so, like I said, I just want to get the pastors and the preachers of the community that consider themselves to be black leaders and that they care, about our neighborhoods and our communities to address these things. I've had sit downs with pastors before. We had run-ins. That's one of the reasons why I ain't in the church right now, though. You had a run-in with the pastor for studying, for researching. Yeah, I felt like it was a bad energy, though. I'm like, nah, I ain't feeling that. I come to you for guidance and to make sure I'm on the right track and learning, and you try to deter me from asking questions. So, that's another thing with religion. Like I said, these people, they have an agenda. They don't want it to go your way. They want it to go their way. And so they already have this idea and they already have this motive and this narrative. And if you ain't going with that, then they pretty much ain't even dealing with you. And that's why I'm about getting tired of even talking to people that don't have the same vibration or frequency or level of knowledge as me. And I hate to even be like that because I put a lot of time into like chopping it up with people and just trying to see if something can come out of the interaction. I'd be open to it. But when they see that I'm coming from a historical and a scientific perspective, they start talking about, brother, you lead not to your own understanding. This is a biblical verse they be going to, but they be saying little stuff like that. Like, brother, listen, you got to use your consciousness, brother. You got to use your mind, use your brain. Don't just have no little pea brain and be reciting what you heard somebody say. That's kind of like a story. You still need to show your work in school, even in math. You had to show your work, man. You can't just have the answer, but you can't show the teacher how you got the answer. You might don't even fully understand. So there's a lot of that going on. But anyway, since these different religions is pushing their narrative, I gotta push my narrative of naturalism, right? Like as I always say, in the beginning there was nature, right? Man is a product of nature. We gotta have oxygen to breathe, or we won't, or we can't sustain it, right? We gotta have sunlight so the plants can grow and produce the oxygen. We gotta have the environment with the resources and all of that. And so, how could a man try to tell you the origin in these texts? You feel me? And say that, pretty much like blasphemy the sun, the moon, the stars, and stuff like that. Like those are things that they do in the Bible. They curse those things that are natural. And to my understanding, God is the creator and the origin of all life. And the universe is that. So anyway, I just wanted to go to, let me see, share my screen. So I share my screen with that. Religio. I was seeing that right. No, it won't that. That was, I sent, try to get up with my peoples, man. I'm gonna see if they're gonna hit me back or not. But like I said, while we waiting on them, just go over a few of the tabs that I had to share. We went over what now was what? Oh yeah, the Negro Slave Bible. I just wanted to show y'all that. And then you see right there in Oxford, according to Oxford, religion, right? Religion, Latin, religare, to bind, Latin, religio, obligation, bond. And in slavery, what was happening? Niggas was bonded, right? Hog tied, all type of stuff. 50 lashes. That's the bondage, not Egypt. There's no proof of slavery in Egypt. But that's according to the text. But what we do know though is that the slaves actually was able to escape slavery when they got in tune with themselves, when they got in tune with their ancestors, and they weren't worried about that Bible stuff. They looked to the stars. They looked to the North Star specifically in the South, and in America. You feel me? The South, like the North Star, will lead the slaves out of the South. And it's like, damn, how did they know that? Did they know astrology? Was there any emphasis on astrology in the Bible? Which it wasn't. It really wasn't. Matter of fact, there's a little bit of astrology in the Bible, but at the same time, they curse it. Because they don't want to focus on that. But anyway, it means to bind. So like I said, there's no history, there's no proof of slavery in Egypt. And then I wanted to share my tab right quick. The Egyptian gods and goddesses. Of course, they have gods and goddesses as well. Egyptian gods and goddesses, 11 gods and goddesses, Osiris, right? A bronze figure of the late period in the Egyptian Museum, Berlin, courtesy of the Statici Museum per Sacher Coates, Berlin Photography Art Resource, New York. So they have Isis, Horus, Set, Ptah, Hathor, Anubis. I got that tattooed on my arm, Anubis. And so, yeah, Anubis was like, his name was also known as Ampu. And that means like death or decay. But he's supposed to be like an angel or a spirit who guides the travels of a soul from the earth to the heavens, into the afterlife. And so during the transitioning period of a soul that's leaving the body, they would be acquainted by Anubis. And he's the angel who chaperones you into the afterlife. Right? And then you have Horus, which is the African version of Jesus. That's what I'm saying. We had many gods. It's crazy how we went from polytheistic to believing in many gods to monotheistic. It's like being in a relationship with an abusive person and you give them all this power and they're gonna slay you, man. You would have been better off having other options. But anyway, Horus is the African version of Jesus. Right? Set is supposed to be like Cain. And Isis, which people was talking about Beyonce is the devil and all that. She ain't no devil. That's an African goddess. And then it's crazy they got the campaign about the terrorist group, ISIS and all that. And it's like disrespect to our culture because that's an African goddess, a queen. And they're naming the terrorist group ISIS. And so that's what I'm saying about the Western culture. You know, they really don't have much respect for the origin, for African culture. But yeah, we got Jesus, you got Mary, which is Isis. Yeah, Isis is Mary, the mother of Horus. All right. And so they call that the Black Maddona and Child. The term Black Maddona or Black Virgin tends to refer to statues or paintings in Western Christendom of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So remember the singer Madonna? That's where she got her name from. Probably mean mother or something like that. But the term, Black Maddona refers to Mary. And then you have, you look at the images, there's black images of Mary. So I know a lot of black people not used to that. Y'all ain't seen that. Y'all really don't know too much about that because I didn't know too much about it. I'm just now learning too. But hold on right quick. They got statues too. Let me go to one of the statues so y'all can see the official joint. Who would have ever known, who would have thought that the holy people was black? See, that's a real joint right there. Black Madonna with Child in the Chartres Cathedral. Wherever the Chartres Cathedral is, probably in Europe somewhere. But y'all can see the picture of it. That's Jesus and Mary. You see in that black. Jesus and Mary, black. And I thought it was interesting because the Pope, they pray to these entities. And they're people of African descent. Yeah, a statue of Black Madonna and Child in Chartres Cathedral. They pray. They get on their knees and pray while you praying to Jesus, the white Jesus. Yeah, while you getting on your knees praying to the white Jesus, the Pope is praying to the Black Madonna and Child because they know the truth. It's just our people that don't know the truth, which is sad, but we doing a little bit better than what we was. They know what it is. They know what's really going on. Yeah, let me share the screen right quick. Yeah, you can see it. There you go right there at the Vatican. Pope Francis. Pope Francis, right there. They know the truth. That's why black people, that these pastors got that dress this, man. That y'all black people don't let them get away with it. They have to address these issues. Gotta address it. Pope Francis prays before the icon of Our Lady. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Shit's Tachawa, something like that. During his visit to the shrine of Jasna Gora in 2016. Yeah, so anyway, that's your Pope right there. Mighty, powerful, white man, European Caucasoid. And he's given respect, praises, and adoration before the Black Madonna and Child. All right. And so, yeah, that was Vatican news too. Pope Francis prays for Mary to guide the destiny of Europe and the world, helps us put Christ and the gospel first. And retreats that his thoughts are always with war-torn Ukraine and its suffering people. What about the people in Africa that suffer? That was their issue with our brother. He just passed away not too long ago. He had that movie called something Sunday. I forgot his name, man. He was like a road pastor though, because he was talking about the children in Africa. And he was saying, why would they go to hell? Because, it's the religion where they force you. He was saying, why would they go to hell if they never even heard nothing of it? They never had a chance. They never had, you know what I'm saying? They had nothing to do with that. And then the church went in on him. Carlton Pearson, that's his name. He passed away. R.I.P. Carlton Pearson, a legend, a gold in the game of scholastic academia, and just putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Knowing about theology and the origins of the Bible. And the man went through a lot of chastisement for doing that. He relived that same story of the Christ, how the Christ got did by the Pharisees, which are the politicians in the government. Like, Jesus didn't go with the government. He was like a black conscious motherfucker. Like, he was woke. You feel me? He won't go on with none of that. And that's why he went through the things that he went through according to the story. But yeah, I think it's, the Christ energy is within us all, but it is a story that is about astrology. That's really my point. But the earthly manifestation of Mary is the black woman, okay? The womb, the portal of life, the origins of humanity, all right? And that everlasting life, or that silical, existence of reincarnation, for the black woman to bear a child. You know what I'm saying? Because Osiris, Haru is pretty much the reincarnation of Osiris according to the story, according to the Kemetic story. So yeah, you got Jesus, Heru, and then you got Mary, Isis, or Iset, you could call her. You know what I'm saying? And then Osiris was Joseph pretty much, supposed to be the father. But yeah, he's the reincarnation of the father. And so there's an earthly manifestation, and then there's a heavenly. You feel me? There's this. The universe does have gender. You know what I'm saying? And there's a order and a structure to creation. So I believe in that. Yeah, there's pictures all over the internet showing that these people prayed us, prayed our ancestors. Meanwhile, we were slaves, like, you know what I'm saying? We, you know, hangings, burnings, lynchings, all type of stuff. Black Star. Okay, not that junk. Yeah, not that junk. Yeah. But yeah, I was just trying to find some more images for y'all so y'all could see the Pope and them praying. They said Putin had something going on. There was a little article. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Said he opened up something ancient, a chest or something. Some people saying that it's false. You know, they always got some type of fake news going on. And then some stuff be real that they be saying that's fake news though. Live video, mosquitoes, Russian President Vladimir Putin, recent State of the Nation address. Moscow has increasingly pursued close ties with several West African nations, including Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Putin, Orthodox Orange West against Medellin. All right. So yeah, I was trying to find the store with Putin, but we'll just keep going. Just know they got some shit going on right now with that. But anyway, yeah, the religion thing is a tool that the colonists use to subjugate and exploit indigenous people. All right. Now, like I said, y'all just seen how you got African characters, same characters that they got in the Bible, but they got African names and they have African origins. But you know, we're not using those versions. We don't even really. A lot of people don't know about those. It is go right there. Remember, we was talking about that. Not the Negro Bible, the Slave Bible. It says select parts of the Holy Bible for the use of Negro slaves in the British West India Islands, originally published in 1807. The original Slave Bible was published by Law and Gilbert Publishing House in London in 1807, and the copy belonging to Fisk University was published the following year. It was published on behalf of the Society for the Conversion of Negro Slaves to educate enslaved Africans and preserve the system of slavery. That's by Fisk University, right? They're just showing the Negro Bible we was talking about earlier. So the Negro Bible actually does exist for people who always talking about, brother talking about a conspiracy. Like some black people do know things, and black people are way more aware than we been in the past. So I might want to, stop the cap with that. But yeah, published by Law and Gilbert, right? House in London, 1807. So yeah, it does exist. Yeah, and it was pretty much the purpose of it was to subjugate, to make you a pacifist. You know what I'm saying? To make you more susceptible to abuse and somebody exploiting and taking advantage of you. They want you to be humble, so you see it, right? That was a means to make black people more humble. So they would let some slaves read if they was going to be a pastor and teach the other ones to be humble. That's the only way they was allowed to read, because that's what happened with the story of Nat Turner. And remember, we talked about the anti-literacy law. So by Harvard Library, it shows, So these things is it. I know y'all ain't gonna research. You know how I already know how my people live. It's all right. It's all right. I give you a little bit of slack. I know y'all ain't gonna research it, but some people might. So between 1740 and 1867, the anti-literacy laws in the United States prohibit enslaved and sometimes free Black Americans. So not just the slave, any niggas walking around from learning to read or write from 1740 to 1867. Anti-literacy laws in the United States prohibited enslaved and sometimes free Black Americans from learning to read or write. Harvard Library. All right. Let me see if I can go to the joint. And then there's real articles too. Real articles, like real slave articles. So y'all know this stuff exists, man. But like I'm saying, my point is to get your pastors and your teachers and your leaders to address these things. All right. So 1 second. Like I said, Christianity is a political thing. Getting rid of all the other ancient gods, all right, the indigenous gods, and then you turning it into giving this one guy all the power. You didn't change the whole understanding. This is the result right here, the Christian crusade. And I've been to a crusade before. The one that I went to, it wasn't no stealing and killing. So crusades were a series of religious wars initiated, supported, and sometimes directed by the Christian Latin church in medieval period. All right. So it was a series of religious wars initiated by the Christian and the Latin church in the medieval period. And then we see, now this is leading up to slavery too, the medieval period. Now you see, we talked about it earlier when I was saying God was telling people to go fuck somebody up, take their land, you know what I'm saying? Take their resources, kill, steal. Maybe they had a different God or something. That God can't be our God. But anyway, it says, what were crusades of Christians? Spanning most of the high Middle Ages, 1050 to 1300 BCE, a series of military expeditions called the Crusades was launched from Christian Europe against the peoples of Near East, right? When they speak of Near East, they're normally talking about Africa, all right, or Asia. Sparked by a zeal to rid the Holy Lands of infidels. So that's subject to opinion too. Meaning Muslims primarily. Only the first crusades achieved any real or lasting success. So they was trying to rid the Holy Lands of infidels. And you know how it can be, like to the wicked man, the righteous man is the op. And to the righteous man, the wicked man is the op. And so the wicked man could call the righteous man an infidel. He don't relate to him. He don't like him. He don't identify with him. And they're clearly different. You know what I'm saying? So that's subject to opinion. But anyway, they're trying to rid the Holy Lands of infidels. You come into, and then you see the little depiction. You see the white man and you see the black man. I don't see why people don't understand that it has a racial inception. 1320 section 15, the Crusades in medieval Christianity. So yeah, when y'all get a chance, look that up, family. I ain't gonna be on here all night because I know it's late, and Got to get a little bit of rest soon. But I just wanted to talk about it. Oh yeah, the guy asked me. Let me go ahead and answer the question. So the guy asked me in the joint in the lift the other day about, you know, how he can tell that God is real or that, Jesus is real, right? Because he asked me a series of questions when I told him that I wasn't Christian. And so he tried to see if I believe in God, which I told him I do. I believe in the universe. I believe in the forces, the primordial forces that create all things. There's a divine masculine, there's a divine feminine, and that those forces are the foundation of all creation. And so he said something about, being in church and then you have somebody to prophesy and then the prophecy be on point, right? And so my response to that is, in the universe, in the world, in the realm of spirituality and humanity, it's kind of like the rainbow. It's all light waves. You feel me? It's all energy, it's all frequency, but they have different energies. It's different, vibrations. And so you got souls who have unique skill sets of abilities, but you have certain people that are like in tune spiritually a little bit more than others, like a shaman, like a Dalai Lama, like an ancient Kemetic priest. You feel me? There's different names that they call it, but these are spiritual counselors. Oracle, that's another thing they would call it. Person who would do some type of spiritual reading for people. So these people are people who are more isolated type of personalities. They wouldn't be around the general public. These people are more energy sensitive type of individuals. Probably some type of water element in astrology. Water signs are very intuitive, very they normally have pretty good discernment when it comes to energy and reading and channeling energies. And they're very energy sensitive. And sometimes they can be conservative because they have gentle souls, like they're moved easily because they're I don't know, they just amped up like that. So anyway, my response to that is that you have those spiritual counselors, and it don't matter what religion it is. It's a natural ability that the universe gave that person. Okay, they can be in whatever religion. It doesn't matter. It's a natural gift, and it has nothing to do with them being a Christian or whatever religion that they are. You feel me? It's just it's naturally God given. I have visions. I have deja vus that come true all the time on a regular basis. And so I don't ask God to give me any abilities. I don't ask God to give me visions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like I hear frequencies too, though, like real high pitched frequencies. And I be asking people sometimes, like, did you hear that? Like, did you hear that? And sometimes people don't. And sometimes maybe they do. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It's just certain things are natural. I was telling the brother, like, we're trying to like get to God. We're trying to get God to accept us, not understanding that God is within us. You're supposed to be putting more focus on who you are and what's inside you. You know what I'm saying? What's within. You feel me? And so instead of trying to be external with it and asking God to do this and do that, I was about to make the analogy about Dr. Sebi. Like, he was talking about miracles. You know what I'm saying? I was about to go there, like, bro, Dr. Sebi was originally an engineer, and then he became a biologist and a chemist. You feel me? And he studied plants, dealing with botany. And he studied, he had chemical analysis done on his plants, and he healed people from his knowledge and from his understanding. Okay, let me go ahead and Start sharing that screen. He healed people from his knowledge and from his understanding, family. And so it's miraculous that he didn't have to pray to heal 13 people from AIDS before he ran into some trouble with the federal Supreme Court in 1987, which he won. He was charged with practicing medicine without a license. And based on his knowledge and his understanding and his education, he was able to prove himself innocent and that nothing he was doing was wrong. He brought 77 patients to court with diagnostic sheets of having the disease and then diagnostic sheets from a separate doctor showing that there was no disease present. Okay? And he didn't pray. He didn't ask. He just did it based on the possibility of it being even possible in the first place. Like the man had the knowledge. So like I said, there's belief, there's knowledge. Belief system, knowledge system. Like I say, when you know this belief has no purpose. Belief is your last leg, your last limb, your last resort, when you don't have nothing left. And that's how we was when we was slaves. We was bad off. We was po mouth. And we was eating scrap leftovers from the dominant society, from the white man. And we began to take on that nature of lowness. You feel me? And those things don't have to be like that, family. That's just conditioning. You know what I'm saying? We was conditioned to certain type of thinking and certain type of behavior. And so anyway, I ain't gonna hold y'all all night, but this religion thing need to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I feel like it can bring structure, but the purpose of it was meant for political means, to extort, to exploit people for their land and for their resources. And right now, there's a lot of war that goes on, like I say, in Africa, in these countries. I think Congo is one of the leading exporters of cobalt, which is a special metal that's in the cell phones. And so to make cell phones, they need conductive metals. And the Congo is one of those places that produce a lot of it. And so even with King Leopold of Belgium, he went to, get ivory, you feel me, from the Congo in the 1800s. Like I said, courtesy of Queen Elizabeth I, killed over 20 million Africans in 2 to 3 years. That's genocide, genocide, you feel me? Based on, killing people based on their genes. And so these things have happened. So anyway, before we go just subscribing to anything, like I told the brother, I went a step further. I went to look into the history, the historical ties, you know what I'm saying, of like the King James Bible, you know what I'm saying, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you feel me, the Dead Sea Scrolls, you feel me, there's different texts, the cuneiform tablets. There's different text that was written, and the Bible is pretty much ancient revised literature. So Europeans, the colonists, is pretty much revising these ancient stories. These come from the ancient societies, and their stories originally based on the sun going through this cycle, right, around the galactic plane, and it's called the precession of the equinoxes. And this is the process in which the sun travels 30 degrees, right, every 2,160 years, which adds up to about, rounded off, about 26,000 years, because there's 12 of them. They're just like the months. Crazy how the Hebrew Israelites talk about the 12 tribes too. Just like it's 12 disciples, it's 12 tribes, it's 12 months in the calendar year, it's 12 zodiacs on the zodiac wheel. You feel me? This is math, family. This is like astrology. And people are misinterpreting the story for something else, and that's not what it's about. Jesus is the Son of God, the Son of God. All right? And that's, like I said, it's the procession of the equinoxes. The sun going through these transits. And every time the sun increases and you feel me, in its trajectory and changes from one constellation to the next, is in this region of space, is moving, it's constantly moving, cyclical, and then it's in another region of space. And once we begin to get within a different region of space, now we're interacting with a different discipline. Like I said, the sun is Jesus, and the constellation is his disciples, which we call them disciplines. So when the sun interacts with a certain discipline, there's a certain energy. Just like when you're playing the keyboard and you hit certain tones that coincide or that match, they make a harmonic, harmony. You feel me? So just like they talked about Jesus feeding the people with the two fish, which is Pisces, and the 4 loaves of bread. They talk about the house of bread, which is Virgo. You feel me? The man with the pitcher of water. You know what I'm saying? That's Aquarius. And they talked about the Hebrew Israelites worshiping idols and worshiping the calf in the Bible, which is supposed to be representative of Taurus. All right, these are different disciplines. And the story is originally astrological, so it's an anthropomorphic symbolism. All right, but there are no 12 tribes. There's 2 genetic groups. There's original and then there's mutation. All right, there's original and then there's mutation, family, genetically. All right, I believe the mutation to be the curse of Cain, but we'll talk about that on another joint, because there was a curse that was given to Cain in the story, and he was marred. All right. Well, anyway, it's getting kind of late. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Y'all enjoy your night. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. All right. See, I'm supposed to hit the joint whenever I want to show. Love and light, the mother goddess, stopping by. I'm trying not to stay up too late. All right, but we out, family. Peace and blessings. Brother Omni, Black Power. Salute to everybody in the building. Peace.